If you're trying to grow your net worth, I've spent the last 15 years figuring out exactly what works. I paid off $43,000 worth of debt in just 13 months, built up my net worth to recently $805,000, and putting money consistently towards my kids' future education. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the 4 seasons of my journey, the lessons that I learned, the mistakes I made, and the things that I would do different if I were to start over from scratch. If you're a parent trying to get clarity with your finances, but feeling overwhelmed, unclear what to do next, or just want more for your family's future, this is for you. And we're gonna start with the single lesson that changed absolutely everything for me, the bank blindness. I still remember like it was yesterday, 10 years ago, sitting at my job, excited for the morning after when I'd be picking up the biggest purchase of my life up until that point, a new car. Suddenly, I got this pit in my stomach. Something wasn't right. I scrambled to my bank account and my heart sunk. I didn't have enough money in my bank account to give the dealership the down payment that I had promised them in order to drive that car off the lot. Somehow, I was able to scrape together enough money from my girlfriend, who's my now wife at the time, to cover the difference, and I was able to drive the car off the lot. And now when most people buy a new car, they're playing with all the gadgets, they got the windows down, the music's blaring, there's a grin ear to ear. It's the most exciting day of their lives, right? For me, it was really hard to enjoy that drive. It was super embarrassing that I didn't even know how much money was in my bank account, especially for someone who has an accounting degree. It was at that moment where I drew a line in the sand and I vowed I would never make a mistake like this ever again. So simple awareness was missing from my finances, and it's the exact reason why everything else in this story is possible. Now, don't get me wrong, the awareness worked great. I looked at my bank account every day for the next 90 days, but that alone wasn't helping me reach any financial goals, like trying to pay off some debt, save up to buy that first home, and just feel on pace for retirement. I knew how much money was in my account, but not much more than that. I didn't know much more than that. So I started tracking my money. And at first it was just, okay, is my bank account going up or down at the end of 30 days, right? And then it was like, okay, well, what kind of things am I spending money on each month? What are the spending categories? Yes, I started budgeting, the B word, the thing that nobody wants to talk about. But the thing is, it didn't feel restrictive. In fact, it gave me clarity on what my money allowed me to do in my life. This clarity allowed my wife and I to put our full, undivided attention to paying off the $43,000 of debt in 13 months. The focus, the drive to pay this off before having kids really was a game changer for us. The lesson here is action. I can't emphasize this enough. We made gradual steps from awareness. It doesn't just happen overnight. I didn't go from looking at my bank account to having multi-6-figure net worth. We had to learn through our mistakes. We made so many. The best way to learn, though, is by taking one small step at a time and not biting off more than you can chew. Not trying to jump ahead, not looking on Instagram and seeing all these cool side hustle things or all these ways that people are doing their money thing. No, it's a distraction. The season in our life of the debt payoff was not a fun one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I regret nothing about it, by the way, but it was a very sprinty lifestyle for those 13 months. We said no to a lot of friend events, family events that were paid because our focus, our main goal was paying off that debt as soon as humanly possible. That life was not sustainable and we needed to fix it fast, or we would have likely burned out and reverted back to our old ways of just being in debt, paying the minimum payments, not really making too much progress. So we had to find a way to build a money system that lasted for the long term, right? Reach financial goals, right? Of course, if that's your goal, if that's what you want, if you want to build your net worth, then yes. How do we reach those financial goals, but also enjoy life, right? Go to those paid events with friends and family. Do the things that you enjoy, especially for us with our first kid on the way. Of course, we wanted to enjoy life. And this is where we set up the 3-step framework that I now teach hundreds of other families inside my free community. And it looks like this. 1, the 3-month look back. 2, North Star goals. And 3, realignment. And basically the core here is, where has our money been going? Where would we like it to start going? And how can we move money from things we don't care about to things that we do care about? And the whole idea here is to set up a system to keep us accountable and something we can easily stick to. So accountability is inward, looking at ourselves. What can we commit to sticking with? Accountability can be having a partner in your life. I was lucky enough to have someone and still have someone that we sort of see the same path ahead in the future and we are aligned on our goals. Or if you don't have that person in your life, something like a community online where there's hundreds of other people on the same journey as you could be extremely valuable. But you can't just get to a large net worth just by paying debt and saving some money on the side. My wife and I had technically been investing for a long time with our 401ks, right? Putting a little money in here and there, checking it every once in a while, right? But our net worth really skyrocketed the couple years after paying off that $43,000 of debt. And a really funny thing happens when you stop paying your hardworking money towards other people and start paying it towards your future self. It's crazy what happens. We just rolled the money we were paying towards our debt each month, which at the end turned to over like $2,000 a month. And we just started pouring that into long-term investments that we knew that we didn't need to like pull back out. We were thinking, decades down the line. It was nothing to do with crypto, nothing to do with day trading, no get rich quick schemes, right? Just simple dollar cost averaging into broad index funds, nothing sexy, super boring. It works. And these 4 stages of money: awareness, action, accountability, acceleration, happen to be what I customize for everyone who goes through the 6-week money challenge, where not only do we help you build a custom money system that works for your life, similar to how my wife and I set up ours, but you're also going to be trying to save as much money as humanly possible to show what you are truly capable of in a short period of time. So here are some recent wins from this challenge. Sandy and Gemma, if you're interested in taking your finances to the next level, book a call in the link below this video, or you can just check out this video to see if you're a fit, and there's gonna be more information. I'll see you in the next one.